Good morning and welcome back to my channel. Today is a concealer showdown, friends. The contenders for this showdown are the Too Faced Born This Way Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer and the newly released Fenty Beauty Instant Retouch Concealer. I had to, man. Did my foundation showdown. Ended up loving the NYX more, and now we're gonna see, because you know I love my Born This Way, and I also been really liking the Fenty too. So if you want to check out that showdown, swatches, comparisons, and my overall thoughts on both concealers, then please keep on watching. Hello friends, if it's your first time here, my name is Alicia and thank you for stopping by. Also known as Kinky Sweat. If you love beauty, flexibility, contortion, movement, life, and beauty, then you've come to the right place. I'm currently working on my beginner backbend tutorial. I would like to have that up by this week or the end of this week, and all my movement adventures you can find on Instagram. All right, are you ready? Today's foundation for the concealers will be the Makeup Forever, where is it? Matte Velvet Skin 24 Hour Full Coverage Foundation. This is in the shade Y425. Definitely in my heavy rotations and what I would consider one of my top foundations for 2018. And I actually prefer it over the Fenty as well. And although it has a fragrance, I feel it's not as aggressive as the Fenty fragrance. So I'm gonna take around that much. Skin's already prepped with my usual morning skincare routine. I got the Green Pharmacy green screen on, but before that I have like the birthday sample of the Drunk Elephant Protini, which I'm considering repurchasing. I don't know why, I feel like it's making a difference, but it just could be all in my head. I combined that today with the Peach and Lily Matcha Pudding Antioxidant Cream, which is an all-time favorite of mine. I put the squalene, the Biosan squalene, vitamin C, and rose oil, pressed that on, and then I put on the green screen. So this is the texture that we're dealing with, which I feel is just ideal for makeup. I don't use the primers, okay? And we'll use the Beautylish and Chikuhodo foundation brush. We're gonna buff that into the bristles first. Do I have a mirror? Oh yes, I do. Got my big old Marc Jacobs on standby. Perfect. I'm gonna start putting that on. Foundation is on. I know I look a little weirdly tan because this definitely adds color to my face and the under eye portions are still looking a little pale, but we're gonna take care of that in a second, okay? Heading over to the Sephora website so we can get details on both concealers, what they're meant to do, how much they cost, and all that fun stuff. Let's head over to the Too Faced page, The Born This Way Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer. I think it released this past summertime. I have 3 shades. I have shades Sand, Warm Sand, and Honey. So these are my trio of concealers that I use for the under eye and all over my face. I decided to not get a contour shade because this is a huge dose of concealer and I knew I wasn't going to use nearly as much for the contouring purposes, and I felt like I would never finish that bottle, you know what I mean? You get 0.5 fluid ounces, which is a ton for concealer. I mean, usually it's half that. Okay, for $29, and this is in the shade Sand. For $29, you got a 12-month expiration date, and these formulas are made in Italy. What is this concealer designed to do? It is a hydrating, full coverage, weightless, 4-in-1 formula that conceals, contours, highlights, and retouches. This hydrating, buildable, multitasking concealer masks imperfections, smooths, and sculpts skin for natural-looking coverage. It's infused with coconut water, alpine rose, and hyaluronic acid. Skin-loving ingredients that come together for crease-free, weightless wear that's so naturally flawless they'll think you're born this way. Born This Way Super Coverage Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer is available in 20 versatile shades, up against Fenty's 50. Its doe foot applicator allows for perfectly precise application. The weightless formula hydrates skin so it's never dry or cakey. It's non-comedogenic, photo-friendly, and flashback free, and wears for up to 12 hours. So this will be the Born This Way side, and I will go in with the shade Sand. If you want to see how that looks, I will eventually do comparisons with both the Fenty and the Too Faced, but this is Sand, and Sand is described to be medium golden, which I thought was pretty perfect. So we're gonna get that medium golden under the eye, just like so. And I've been using the sponge because it's just been faster to blend out, because since we're dealing with the, all these concealer applications, I just, need to get it done, okay? This is the Morphe Contour something sponge. Really like it. I'm gonna just dab it over the lids as well because my lids are very discolored. And here is sand under the eye. Listen, let me get a mirror just so I could get my thoughts together. I've been really loving this concealer for a long time because it is lightweight, the coverage is immaculate, and it does not look textured on the skin, and it still looks like my skin. I feel it's breathable. I feel it provides a radiant finish. I love the tone of the sand. I could have gone golden beige if I really wanted to lighten it up. I could place it right under the eye, but again, you get so much concealer for the price that I just decided to stick with sand. And if I do happen to have a lighter concealer, I'll just combine those shades so it can brighten it up more so near the corner of my eye. Here's a look at the texture, and again, it is not yet set, and I'm gonna leave it unset so we could see how both concealers dry down. Again, I really love the texture, and if I were to make an immediate comparison, I really do think the Born This Way is more dry skin friendly than the Fenty. The Fenty Beauty will dry down to a soft matte finish, and if you're not into that type of texture, then definitely go in with the Born This Way. Now the question is, which one do I like more? Well, we gotta see. Let's see. I'm gonna leave a wide space because I'm gonna put the Fenty swatches next to the sand. So this is the color I would use all over my face. For instance, I would just put it here and on the spots that need more coverage. And warm sand is described to be tan golden. You want to see how that blends, and this is on top of the Makeup Forever. So ideally I would put the concealer on first so it doesn't have that weird halo look on top of the foundation, and it would appear more seamless. But I really like Warm Sand as my all over face shade. If I was going to go foundation free and have a no makeup day, then this is the shade I would use. Honey is a lot more neutral, and I thought actually initially would be a better shade match for me, which is a lot more neutral. So ideally these two together will give me my perfect skin shade. I don't find myself combining them often because I've just been using a lot of foundation and rotating those formulas, but I would combine Honey and Warm Sand for my ideal shade. And Honey, according to the Born This Way descriptions, is tan neutral. So these are the swatches for my Born This Way collection. I really love the shades, and especially sand for under the eyes. Perfect. Now let's get into the Fenty side, and we'll go to the Fenty page. You only get 0.27 ounces for $26. You get a lot more in the Born This Way. You get a lot more bang for your buck, but that's up to you. This also has a 12-month expiration date and also made in Italy. I decided to go in with shade number 310, but if you want to take a look at the description, it is a creamy, long wear, crease-proof liquid concealer with light as air, medium to full coverage that brightens under eyes and conceals blemishes and redness. This is a full coverage cure to living life to the fullest. This sweat-resistant formula comes in a groundbreaking range of 50 easy-to-shop soft matte shades, each designed to pair with your Pro Filter foundation. The shade number is the same, but they designed the concealers to be more suitable for your under eye with the same shade foundation. Now, the advantage Fenty has over Born This Way is that Fenty has 30 more shades you could choose from and has many undertones that could be challenging in trying to pinpoint the right one for you. I mean, I have 5 Fenty Beauty concealers, and it took me a while to figure out which undertone was best for my under eye. This is 310, and 310, I believe, is the medium to tan. Let me see here. Oh my God, so many numbers. 310 is for medium to tan skin with warm yellow undertones. The Born This Way was medium with golden, I believe. So here we go. And just so you can see what 310 looks next to sand, oh, that's significantly lighter. Whoa. All right, using the other side of the sponge for the Fenty side, it's going to end up looking a lot brighter just simply because, I mean, look at the difference. I could have went light, but it was at a time when purchasing the Born This Way that I thought I was getting a little out of hand with the under eye, that it wasn't looking realistic in like actual real life. But now maybe I could get golden beige in the Too Faced. We'll see. Get a little on the lid as well. Now on camera, the Fenty side looks better because it is brighter, and the Born This Way does take a little bit more time to dry down. I feel the Fenty dries down a lot faster, but it's not drying to the skin. All right, friends, here is the Fenty side with number 310. And here, oh, you're gonna focus on me? And here is the Born This Way Too Faced side in sand. What are we thinking? Are we like, oh, I don't know. Oh no. I'm looking in the mirror and I'm really trying to decide because you know I love the Too Faced. You know I love. I guess because I'm loving the Fenty more right now because I love how brightening it is. Oh man, I don't know. All right, hold on. While we're deciding, I just want to swatch 330 next to sand. It's so crazy how that's considered golden next to the Fenty, you know what I mean? This is the shade I would use all over my face. Oh, but let's do 300. Let's see how 300 looks. I'm gonna do it under here. Or here, you know what, whatever. That's how 300 looks. This is so wild, man. What do you think, friends? Which side do you like better? Oh no, I don't know. This is definitely hotter than the foundation Showdown because, I mean, I knew I would like the NYX better than the Fenty Pro Filter. They're very similar in dry down texture. Now, the reason why I'm going to say that I like the Fenty more because of the shade range, and I feel that the brightness from the concealer still looks reasonable on my skin tone just because of the broad spectrum of undertones that they have in their collection. Now, if I were to get golden beige, maybe I could achieve the same brightness. But when it comes down to texture, I actually feel they're very similar. I think because of the formula, I don't think Fenty has like hyaluronic acid in their formula. Let's check to see what the ingredients are looking like in the Fenty. Okay, hydrogenated. Ooh, I can't say that. I don't see the hyaluronic acid in here. There might be other ingredients in here that do contribute to a hydrating finish. So not to say that the Fenty is not going to provide zero skincare benefits. I don't know, man. This is hard. I actually feel that the finishes are very similar from both. Absolutely. And it's crazy that I thought sand was light enough for my under eye, but I still kind of think it is, don't you think? This is definitely more brightening, and I appreciate it because it's helpful when you find the brightening shade for your skin tone, because if it's not the right undertone, it could look gray and just unreasonably bright in real life. On camera, the Fenty side looks amazing. The sand side looks nice too from Too Faced, but it's just not giving me that radiant effect like the Fenty is. And they're both fragrance free, thank goodness. And I'm so happy Rihanna and the Fenty team decided to make this fragrance free because it's right under the eye, and I feel like it's even more sensitizing when on that area. I do see a little more like gray peeking through than here on this side. Is it because maybe I just applied more? Well, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm going to put on 235 on both sides. And no, I'm going to change it up a little bit. So let's see what that does. I just want to see how the Born This Way plays with the Fenty. You know what I mean? Because I know I'm doing a showdown, but ultimately, because I own both products, I'm just gonna combine them. I mean, I might as well. This is really just for fun to compare concealers, what they do, their finishes, and all that stuff. So it's not like I want to take the Born This Way back, you know what I mean? Jeez, dang. Ooh, that's really bright. Whoops. Yes, definitely more coverage for sure, and a lot more brightening. Well, I'll just say this. I still think the Born This Way from Too Faced is an exceptional formula. It's hydrating, it's radiant looking, it looks beautiful on the skin, and has impeccable coverage. And I've been using it for months now. I've been using it every day with different foundations. It's never failed me, and I've been loving how my complexion, my skin has been looking from summer till now. The Fenty though, because of their shade range and the different undertones that they have, and I did complain how it was a little tough because of the wide spectrum of undertones, that it was tough to find your actual shade that was reasonable for under eye brightening or just all over your face, that because of that shade range, it just allows for a brighter under eye experience without looking chalky or gray cast, and it's just perfect for my skin tone. So that's why I'm going to give Fenty the winner, just because they just have more shades for you to choose from, and maybe you could find a brightening under eye concealer that's going to give you that radiant effect. Or maybe not. There was a young lady who was at the Sephora when I was picking up, I think, 235 at the time. She was maybe 3 shades darker than me, and she had a problem finding like a good under eye shade because all the under eye shades she was swatching were giving her gray cast from the Fenty. I don't know why. Maybe she just wasn't trying the right shade, but it just goes to show, even though you have 50 shades, you could still not find your shade, and maybe Born This Way might have it. Now, in terms of texture, it was really hard to figure out because I think they actually dry down to a similar texture. The Born This Way side definitely takes a little more time to dry down than the Fenty side. I feel the Fenty side dries down a little bit quicker, but I don't feel it's as drying as their foundation. I still think it's a little more skin-like in terms of the finish and the texture. I definitely say if you have dry under eyes to go with the Born This Way side, because the Born This Way I do think is a little more hydrating in the formula, and it might not give you that soft matte effect if you're not down with that. And if you find the right shade, it could look really radiant under the eye, skin-like, and just smooth in terms of the dry down and the finish, and look really beautiful on the skin. So here we backed it up a little bit just so you could get another look at how the concealers look. Now I put the Fenty side on the Born This Way side, but whatever. I definitely like the Fenty concealer more because of the shade. I think it's more brightening. I could buy another Born This Way shade, but at this point I'm almost done with my sand. Actually, she's nearly done. I still have a lot of the honey and the warm sand left, but I could use that on a no foundation day all over my face and use that up no problem. And it's 12 months, and I got this in the summertime, so we have like, you know, half a year left to use these concealers, so no worry on that. As much as I love the Born This Way, and it did win for my picks best of 2018 concealer, I would still use that concealer until it's done. But I really love the Fenty Beauty shade under my eyes. I think it's outstanding. I love how my skin looks. I love how my under eyes look. They still look smooth and radiant, and it's crazy just to see the shade comparisons between both. I mean, this is sand, and look how this is the Fenty 330 looks next to warm sand, because this next to the Fenty foundation in 330 appeared a lot more neutral. Isn't that nuts? That is crazy. And in regards to longevity, the Born This Way has great staying power. It stays well throughout the day on me. I've been using it for the last few months since the summertime, and my under eye area still looks pretty smooth after 5 hours. So I will announce the winner of the showdown, the Fenty Beauty, because I do love how it looks more under my eyes, and I do love the shade range a lot better than the Born This Way. But that's not to say that the Born This Way formula is to be forgotten. I'm still going to use that concealer. I'll combine both of them because I think both of them look really great together. This is Sand and 235 combined. I love how my skin looks. They play well together. The skin still looks smooth. It doesn't look overly made up, despite the fact that I applied 2 concealers on this side. In the end, it all comes down to which brand is going to provide your shade and the finish that's great for your skin type. I'm very happy that I purchased the Fenty concealers, and I prefer their concealer formula over their foundation one. I also love the Born This Way foundation. I think that's a great satin finish foundation that people much prefer over the Pro Filter from Fenty, because the Born This Way is definitely not soft matte. I think it's more like a skin-like satin finish, and it's a more forgiving formula for dry, sensitive skin types. And I think that's also fragrance free as well. So that's it, my friends. Let me know what you think down below. I would love to hear your feedback. If you have both concealers, what your experience has been with each. If you combine them, if you feel one shade range is better than the other, one formula is better than the other, let me know down below. And until then, friends, that's a wrap. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope this video helped. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And until then, I'll see you on here again with another tutorial, demo, chit chat, or review, or showdown. Take care, and I'll see you again soon.